Please subscribe to our channel, Pacific Front Untold, and be sure to leave a comment after watching a video.
The first half of the 20th century was marked by Japan's rapid rise as a global power and its eventual defeat in 1945. After defeating the Russian Empire in the Russo-Japanese War, 1904 to 1905, Japan pursued its territorial ambitions, having already annexed Okinawa in 1879, Taiwan in 1895, and Korea in 1897-1910. This expansion included gaining influence over southern Manchuria by 1905 and establishing the puppet state of Manchukuo in 1932. These successes, coupled with international recognition as a major power, further fueled Japan's imperial ambitions. Driven by militarism, imperialism, and a belief in Japanese superiority, Japan justified its actions in Manchuria as modernization, a pretext used to exploit the region's resources and oppress non-Japanese populations, particularly the Chinese. Japan's establishment of Manchukuo in 1932 was a calculated act of aggression that left a profound and lasting impact on post-war Sino-Japanese relations. The Japanese initiated their takeover of Manchuria after the Mukden Incident on September 18, 1931, a staged explosion on their South Manchuria Railway used to justify the invasion. Having swiftly occupied the region, Japan established Manchukuo on March 1, 1932, installing the last Qing emperor, Puyi, as the nominal sovereign, while maintaining complete control as masters of a puppet state. Manchukuo was a crucible of clashing ambitions, reflecting the unrealized dreams of two Japanese factions. The military, led by the Kwantung Army, envisioned a self-sufficient, state-controlled economy modeled on the USSR or Nazi Germany, seeking to dominate Manchukuo's development over private capitalists. Conversely, Japanese businessmen aimed to exploit Manchukuo for profit and influence, focusing on resource extraction and regional trade. Ultimately, neither vision was fully realized. While businessmen failed to achieve their goals, the Kwantung Army's dream of heavy industrialization paradoxically required their financial and technical support. This tense, non-cooperative relationship led to Manchukuo's fragmented and inefficient development, heavily reliant on exploited Chinese labor. Manchukuo's uncoordinated modernization relied heavily on an expendable Chinese labor force. From the outset, Japanese control in Manchukuo enabled landlords and officials to exploit desperate peasants and workers, often through coercion and profit-driven arrangements. These local figures used violence to enforce labor compliance, supported by the Japanese colonial system. This exploitative environment was intensified by the Japanese, who extorted destitute workers in factories and infrastructure projects, frequently dehumanizing workers with derogatory terms, such as likening them to horses or below beggars. The Japanese provided only minimal sustenance. Indeed, the scale of this systematic abuse was immense. By 1944, the Japanese and Manchukuo authorities reportedly mobilized approximately 2.56 million workers, exploiting human and raw resources in Manchuria with little regard for peasants' and workers' conditions. The death toll of coerced workers in Manchukuo remains heavily debated, but even conservative estimates are staggering. Japan conscripted over 1 million Chinese laborers in Manchuria, with an estimated 100,000 to 200,000 deaths over 7 years. This figure reflects only Chinese laborers. Of the 5.4 million Koreans mobilized across Japanese-controlled territories, approximately 1 to 2 million resided in Manchuria by 1945. With a conservative estimate of 270,000 to 810,000 Korean deaths, it is likely that tens of thousands, if not more, died under harsh conditions in Manchukuo, combined with massacres to suppress resistance. opioid-related deaths, widespread repression, and Unit 731's biological warfare, which may have claimed 200,000 to 250,000 lives. The total deaths from Japan's occupation of Manchuria likely exceed 1 million, though precise figures remain uncertain. The numerous deaths and atrocities in Manchukuo highlight the divergent ways East Asians and Japanese remember their shared history. For the Chinese, the creation of Manchukuo and the Second Sino-Japanese War represent a painful, bloody period under Japanese occupation. In contrast, Japanese wartime propaganda portrayed Manchukuo as a peaceful second home for settlers, and some post-war narratives emphasized Japanese suffering during repatriation, as they faced violence from Chinese civilians and Soviet forces. The omission of atrocities against Manchuria's people in some Japanese accounts underscores differences in how history is taught in East Asia. Greater acknowledgement of these atrocities could foster reconciliation among East Asian nations, though challenges remain.